Well, and just like that, the Chicago Bears have nailed down their defensive coordinator in Dennis Allen and reportedly their offensive coordinator as well. We're going to talk about it all and more. First, got to play that intro.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. We got C-Dub, Bobby, Steve-O, myself, Hayes, all in the building. And fellas, it is official. Dennis Allen has been hired as the defensive coordinator for the Chicago Bears. How are we feeling?
I feel pretty damn good about the signing. Again, this is a guy that comes in with head coaching experience, who was a head coach with the Raiders and then just recently with the New Orleans Saints. And I think that's a good support. This is going to be a good member on staff to support Ben Johnson as a first-time head coach. Now you get a defensive coordinator up in here who spent some time under Sean Payton, so he understands winning. Definitely had some playoff success under Sean Payton as the defensive coordinator. Got an opportunity to run his own squad. Didn't necessarily work out, but I'm pretty sure that is an opportunity to go in and let Ben Johnson know, hey, this is what I know. This is how I can help. And it's a good support system for Ben Johnson. This is much, much different than Allen Williams, a first-time defensive coordinator coming in with a first-time head coach. This is a good signing for the Chicago Bears, in my personal opinion. And I expect the defense to still be, well, this year was kind of like a drop-off. So I expect the Chicago Bears to be back where we expected them to be. And that's one of those top defenses in the National Football League.
On the real.
Y'all see the other breaking news?
Yeah, Declan Doyle as the OC. We got an OC and DC.
Oh, wow, absolutely, that's good. And by looking at his history, this guy's coming in experienced, and that's probably been the key word that I've been looking at in this coaching search. Experience in 30 years, who can argue against that? Now let's just hope now that it's out of the way. We courted him. He's over here. He signed the contract. Now let's hope we get a more aggressive, competent defense, ready to use all of his youth and his athleticism, because some athletic guys out there, and you rarely seen them out there being athletes. So I hope he just bring a new energy to the defensive side of the ball.
Steve-O?
Yeah, it just proves what I've been saying on the past. Like, they just showing that they serious about winning. They ain't sitting here playing around. They going to get their staff. We thought that to be honest, it might be a little bit quicker that we find out what the full staff look like. They moving swiftly, and they moving with assertiveness and aggression. That's all we can ask for a team, and that's what that's a prime example of a team that's willing and able and wanting to get better. So that's all I want. And the fact that they're able to bring in their OC on the same night is even better. Like two birds with one stone.
For sure.
Yeah, it shows that once again the way that the Bears are moving throughout this whole process has been very intentional. They've been intentional about, and I think the timing in which they've done it, the fact that they're announcing their offense and defensive coordinator hires at the same time, to me says that they are very confident in the people that they're bringing in. That they went through the interview process, made the decision on both these guys, and now they get to focus on other things. We still got some other coaches positions that still need to be figured out and hired. But I mean, this is the main ones. We got our head coach, we got our OC, we got our DC, we got our special teams coordinator. We knew Hightower was already staying, so that's not a surprise there. And now we get to, got a couple more coaching hires to make. But at this point, free agency draft is the focus.
Yeah, I definitely like I just love it that we coming in and to get these guys that they've been getting, you got to spend some bread. Steve-O, you said it last episode, with one of the last lives that we did, that the Bears, they putting their money where their mouth is, this hiring cycle. and they not being cheap. You got to go out here. You got to get you. Number one, you got the best, and now you got to go get the at least some of the best that's available out there by any means necessary to ensure that the culture and the feeling around the Chicago Bears is a lot different. So I appreciate these signings. Obviously, we still want to see it on the field, but it's a step in the right direction. I got these signings give me a lot of confidence now, for real.
Now, Doyle, C-Dub, I know you had mentioned before how you kind of wanted more of a veteran. He's 28 years old, very young guy.
Damn.
How you feeling?
Okay. Okay. This is what I want to say about that, Drip. Yeah, I did say that. But it gotta that changes. You know what changes my mind? When we get coaches that other teams want as well. It seems like every time we go after coaches, it's like they come from nowhere, they come out of nowhere. Sometimes it's like Matt Nagy, he was wanted by other teams, but it never needle out of haystack. We usually just grab like a Mark Trestman or somebody. Like all of these guys they picking up was wanted by several different teams, and the speed of which they acquiring these guys is telling you how they really want to make sure they make this problem go away with the Chicago Bulls, and that's just incompetence. So you got to like the route that they going, but you are right though, Drip. You're right though.
I mean, let's be clear here, though. Doyle worked under Dan Campbell. He also worked under Sean Payton, so there could be a connection there with Dennis Allen. Ben Johnson and him weren't on stack. He's with Dan Campbell when Campbell was actually in New Orleans, I think. But I mean, they kind of all come from similar trees, so like there's connections there, and that's kind of what you want. And I'm not mad at them hiring a young OC. I think that with Ben Johnson taking over the play calling duties, you need somebody who's going to be able to take some of that off of him, but also learn under Ben Johnson. There's going to be very similar terminology and all that stuff there. So I think this is a good hire for those reasons alone. So
can I add that just being petty, and it sounds crazy, but like I said, the last live, I don't think the OC is that important. That sounds crazy, but it ain't gonna hold like it don't have he won't have all the job of the OC. He ain't calling plays. He probably ain't even making the game day the play calls. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
He's still gonna have a big role. Like on game day, I could get where you're coming from there, but he's still like Ben Johnson's gonna have to focus on everything in practice. Like Doyle's still gonna have a lot of responsibility in the preparation week to week and things like that.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I think the thing I like about Doyle is what Hayes mapped out with the Dan Campbell and then the Sean Payton. So much that Sean Payton even went out, and when he went to Denver, he went out and recruited this young fella to come back on his staff. So that says a lot to me. I understand the question with experience, and it's a real thing. But what I like to add is that Ben Johnson said he needs an OC who might not necessarily call the plays, but who has the same philosophies as him. And I would say Ben Johnson's philosophy kind of matches up with the way that Sean Payton has coached throughout his career. And I think that's solid. And I think to Hayes' point, before Steve-O goes, you need this OC to come in here and be able to pass down, you know what I'm saying, and maintain those standards. So I think that though he might not be calling plays on game day, he's definitely going to be heavily involved for the preparation during the week, because Ben Johnson is definitely not going to be able to sit in with the offensive side throughout the entire week. So he's going to have somebody who he trusts, which he mapped out in his press conference, and has the same philosophy as him. And I think this is one of those young fellas who can grow with us. And I think it's a good sign for the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, like if you really look at it, it's very similar of how Ben himself was brought up. Like he was a young dude as well. I don't think he was as young as Doyle, but it's around the same time. And that's what he said. He needs somebody young that has a similar mindset, but he also comes around the same tree. So he trusts who taught him, and he taught him well. And even then, they did the right thing. Like last year, he was a tight ends coach. That shows you that they're trying to build him into a head coach. That's usually what they're trying to do. So this is a guy that I feel like is a higher upside pick. Somebody like down the road when it's time and he going off to be an OC somewhere, it's gonna hurt a little bit because the player's gonna love him. So I think that's what it is. It's somebody he think he could build with for multiple years. It's somebody similar to him, somebody he kind of see somebody himself in. So yeah, I like it.
Oh,
I'm
Of
not
yeah.
gonna
course, a lot
lie.
of people won't
Yeah,
Shaw,
We
but
got
yeah.
we
it is
got a
what it
coaching
is.
staff that all kind of look like the same person a little bit. They all
They got
they all
yeah,
very similar, plain looking
yeah.
white guys. Is all I'm saying.
Nerds.
But you know,
Yeah.
it is what it is. But no, so I like the signing of the offensive coordinator. Let's get back to Dennis Allen because Vern asked a question in here. He says, "Do we have to change schemes at all under Dennis, or does he run the same kind of defense as Flus?" So same base scheme, but the thing that I like about Dennis Allen is that he does change fronts. He uses combo fronts. He'll do some different. He's a lot more creative. Flus got sometimes creative in the secondary, but more for the most part, Flus ran his system, and you just had to execute the system very well. Dennis Allen is a much more creative defensive coordinator. So even though they run very similar systems, I think you're going to see a lot different with the fronts that they use, with the blitz packages that they use. That's another thing alone. They're going to blitz more under Dennis Allen as well.
I agree with that.
I hope so because I just want the defense to be more competitive, more aggressive. I think they could have. Why you laughing, gang?
Because Ant said they all look like Fred Hoiberg.
I saw that too.
Yeah, like we got a coaching staff full of dweebs.
Polo shirts and khakis.
I'm with it. Fuck
With
you
Air
talking
Monarch,
about? I'm
with the
with
Air
it.
Monarchs.
We're about to be wearing them New Balances out there.
Hey, New Balance is coming up. They get them new joints.
Man, Jesus,
We should be cooking, y'all.
Man, you can't talk about shorties and you was wearing K Swiss.
I was classics. What you mean?
You were wearing K Swiss as a choice?
Everybody in Chicago was wearing K
Well, them
Swiss.
bitches was
got
food
K
for the
Swiss.
40
That
back in the
bitch
day.
got
We
K
was in
Swiss.
there.
That bitch got K Swiss.
Them bitches was in there before Buddy made
What?
that big guy those K Swiss.
Yeah.
Yeah, we took them off.
With the
We
Shannons,
took them bitches clean off after that.
what with the gold loop? With the gold loop where you put the
See, that's when you
Did you wear Saucony's too? See that?
no Saucony's.
You see how he had to add on emblems and shit to make it better.
Hey, when I was at grammar school, Steve-O, we had Jodeci boots. We used
That's
to
how
put,
that listen, no, Jodeci boots was in until about 2003.
and
we
we
still
used,
wearing Jodeci
did
boots.
you put them colorful ass stick band-aids on your Jodeci boots?
No, we had the tongue out though.
We put the colorful band-aids on there, bro. You don't know
Man,
nothing about
put
that.
Band-Aids on some boots.
Yes.
Rubber band man looking at.
Hey man. We had
That's
style
crazy.
back in the day, you know.
That is hilarious, bro. That's funny. That's funny.
T-shirts and style, huh?
Well, I mean, you look at it. Listen, this time last week we were preparing. The day after we officially hired Ben Johnson as our head coach. Now, within that same week, we got our offensive coordinator, we got our defensive coordinators locked in. The Bears are being very intentional, man. Very intentional.
Yeah, and I respect them. And just to add on to what you were saying about Dennis Allen, with the different looks and the creativity, yeah, expect more stunts. It's gonna be very, very interesting to see which safety he trusts more, because with those extra blitzes coming, it's gonna be a lot of cover one. And that safety, whether it's Jaquan Briscoe or Kevin Byard, it's gonna be interesting to see if he's gonna mix them up a little bit or to find out who he trusts a little bit more. That's gonna be very, very interesting because them blitzes gonna be coming. Those stunts up front are gonna be coming.
I think he gonna mix up them linebackers more than people realize. Because that's the thing. Like he'll send them linebackers. Like that's one thing Flus didn't never used to do. If he'll send both of them motherfuckers. Like Flus ain't never sent both.
And I know we gotta make sure we're gonna re-sign him, but I do think that if we do, Dennis Allen's gonna be really good for Jack Sanborn.
And Tremaine.
Oh, well, I mean, Tremaine just need to get his big nosed ass in the goddamn game, bro.
I think it's gonna be good for him. And to Steve-O's point, if you look at Tremaine Edmunds, like after Flus was fired, and you seen Edmunds blitz, he looked hesitant. I think that was probably because it didn't happen so often. But I expect him to be able to utilize his size and a big ass nose to go ahead and blitz the quarterback.
I don't see how he can't sniff no plays out.
Because he's 10 yards away from the play when a play gets snapped.
He should be able to smell the coverage.
He should have a 20-yard radius.
Hey, Dub, Bloodhounds.
Did you just slide food off the desk?
Yes.
Bro, you just ate 20 minutes ago.
I literally saw that. I haven't eaten since that. That shit crazy. I ain't
That's
gonna
Hey,
lie.
crazy.
bro.
Your
I
metabolism.
went underneath the damn camera, bro. How y'all see
Nah,
that,
bro.
bro?
Because
You know your
you
movements.
used to get caught sneaking all the time, huh, bro?
No, I don't never
That
do
nigga,
anything. It
he
wasn't
he
me.
got that African
It
metabolism.
wasn't
That
me.
boy got that Jedi cloak on. He thought it was really hiding something.
It wasn't me.
That mug got that Zimbabwe metabolism.
Colorism. Oh my god.
That's hilarious. Not Zimbabwe. I just realized what he said. That's crazy.
Damn.
But all right. Any last thoughts, fellas, before we get up out of here, man?
Hey, shout out to the Chicago Bears and the swiftness to try to get this shit that we in mended up, bro. I gotta give them a shout out, man. Bro, they gotta get props, bro. They moving fast.
Absolutely. I'm still interested to see who that offensive line coach gonna be. Hopefully it's somebody with a good rep. Hopefully somebody that's gonna be able to help us establish an offensive line that we can run through and build for the future. So I think that we did get the important things handled and taken care of with some good signings. I'm still interested to see who Ben Johnson trusts to come in and develop this offensive line.
Yeah. So for everybody to recap, now Dennis Allen's the defensive coordinator. Declan Doyle is the offensive coordinator. We got we got Antoine Randall as the wide receivers coach. We got Al Harris as the passing game coordinator, and then JT Barrett as the QB coach. So
not bad. Not bad.
at
Football guys with experience in the league, with players and winning, coming from winning backgrounds. I love it.
that's a fact. That's a fact. Let's get to these super chats. Tyrese, my bad. I forget didn't see the S. Thank you for supporting the channel. Says O-line coach up next. That's just as an important hire as the defensive coordinator in my opinion. Because listen, Darnell Wright's been under some shit, bro. We got to get that man correct.
Get him help for real. I want Darnell Wright to be next Panay Sewell.
Oh, my mama, get him some technical fun. He need that's whole and
help him too.
Need help. For real.
He need to get some fixing too. Come on now. He blame everybody. He needs some fixing too.
Does Dennis Allen run a hybrid 4-3? Yes, he does.
Yes.
He's a very, very, very aggressive play caller as well, which I like.
That motherfucking Flus was a sativa 4-3.
Bro,
that's hilarious. Loving all these hires, and Ben we trust, even if he looks like the guy that looks like he says salt makes things spicy. Wow.
Right.
I'm not a fan of pepper. I'm just not a fan of pepper.
Is that what we at, y'all? Is in Ben we trust, bro? Shout out to for the super
we ain't
chat.
got no choice but to trust.
That's what we ain't about to do. We ain't about to have these monikers of trusting shit.
No, ain't no Ben we trust, bro. No, not yet, bro. No.
I mean, you gotta trust in them, bro. Like, what do you mean? You gotta trust
we can't make monikers and
I ain't gotta do a damn thing.
Yeah,
watch.
Nah, bro.
I mean, you gotta trust them a little bit.
I ain't gotta trust.
We can trust them, but
my hands is up. I'm trying to see.
Put them on a coin.
I don't trust nothing.
Put them on a coin.
It's a difference. Say on the coin.
It's a difference between I like what we doing and I trust what we doing. There's a difference.
Let's see what happens.
That's fair. That's fair.
Fair enough.
Fair. I like the way. I like the route we're going. We got former players in the building, and somebody had asked, like, are players going to respect a 28-year-old head coach? And here's what I'm going to say: that's up to Ben Johnson to make sure he creates an environment that you're going to respect his coaches and the other coaches around that. It's up to Doyle a lot as well to earn the respect of those coaches. I'm saying that, yeah. I mean, but you got to have the environment as a head coach that, listen, these are my guys. They're here to help me execute, and disrespecting them is like disrespecting me. Period.
Yeah. He here to help you.
Yeah, he should want to go there on his own accord and stand on his own. He's 28 years old. That's a grown ass man.
I'm your peers.
Stand on business when you in there, bro.
Hell, JT Barrett only 30. So
yeah.
He going there. Guys, these guys, they should know. They've been around.
Damn, he's 28 years old and he's been coaching since 2019. He was 23 when he got his first coaching job.
That's right. That's right.
Crazy.
Shout out to him. That means he stood out early.
That means that Steve-O should have had that interview. We keep telling y'all that Steve-O should have had that interview.
Bro, we got
all I need is an opportunity.
We got an O-line coach right here, guys.
And I'm gonna say this, Cache already said it. It's been a lot of motherfucking traffic through this channel. It's 800 y'all in this. It better be 800 likes. Like it up.
And hit the goddamn subscribe button. Y'all been freeloading. See, now I forgot to turn this one where only subscribers to comment. I'm finna start getting back on y'all next because y'all ain't been hitting the subscribe. Y'all freeloading.
Oh my mama.
Mhm.
That's the beat. Y'all the motherfuckers that couldn't hit free throws in high school. It's free. All you gotta do is press. It's free.
Well, man, we love y'all, man. Y'all make sure y'all following the show at Shy Bears Central. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, ChicagoBearsCentral@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, 773-242-9336. We're the number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related, man. Chi-Town up, bear down, y'all. Peace.